Hello and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest ostensibly one page at a time, one day at a time, put it up on YouTube. I'm just getting knocked out. I got behind and I was catching up on the catching up, and I just got to get fucking 9 of these and Forge of Finnegan's Wakes read today. This is like number 4. So yeah. So I'm just kind of knocking them out so that I can get back to 1 a day, because when it's 1 a day, I feel more like I want to experiment and blah, blah, blah. Plus, if you're sitting there and, you're not, life's not great right now for everybody, but for me too. And when you got home from work or you're staring down the barrel of an 8-hour day, you don't necessarily feel like reading 15 pages of this shit. But 1 you can do. So that's kind of the boat I'm in. Just want to get caught up, and I should be after today. And I can get back to doing these somewhat regularly. But this is page number 328 of the book Infinite Jest. Here we go. Incandenza, that was the third guy. Incandenza, Hal. Penn shrilly reminds them that Pakistan is a Muslim state and sworn to foe all infidelic enemies of Islam, but can do little but fiddle with the strings of his launcher when Pemulus cheerfully reminds him that nobody's Israel today, and there isn't so much as a combatant's sock on that part of the courts. It's not a matter of the principle of the thing, ever, in Eschaton. Except for the South Af flurry and in-pack boner, 11/8's game proceeds with much probity and cold deliberation, with even more pauses and hushed, chin-stroking conferences today than tend to be the norm. The only harried-looking person on the 1,300-meter squared map is Otis P. Lord, who has to keep legging it from one continent to another, pushing a rolling double-shelf stainless steel food cart purloined from St. John of God Hospital with a blinking "you shit you," not funny Wallace, portable on one shelf, and a 256 capacity diskette case about 2/3 full on the other. That's cute. That's cute. Like, this is the future, and they're still using discs, like, floppy disks. Again, in some ways, this novel has been very prescient about the future, and in some ways, it's very much 90s technology just 20 years later, which is not how it actually shook out. It's hard to predict the future, obviously, but it's just funny when you come across that stuff. It's like when you watch the Jetsons, and it's like the beginning of the 21st century. So like now-ish times, right? And they got like flying cars and shit, but they're still listening to records, like the teenagers. Just funny shit like that. I mean, I'm still listening to records, but that's because I'm fucking old, and I apparently have a lot of money to waste on records. Ow! Beard hair. Ow! All right, anyway. And a 256 capacity diskette case about 2/3 full on the other. The shelves' sides hung with clattering clipboards. Lord having to dramatize manually the effortless dictates of real logic and necessity, verifying that command decisions are allowable functions of situation and capacity. He'd shrugged his shoulders in a neutral whatever at South Af and Impact. Locating necessary data for subterranean premiers and dictators and airsick presidents, removing vaporized articles of clothing from sites of devastating hits and just wapsing them up or folding them over at the sites of near hits and fizzle yields, triangulating EM pulse estimates from confirmed hits to authorize or deny communication capacity. It's a nerve-wracking job. He's more or less having to play God, tallying kill ratios and radiation levels and parameters of fallout, strontium-90 and iodine levels, and the likelihood of conflagrations versus firestorms in mamas, with different mean value skyscraper heights and combustible capital indices. Despite chapped hands and a badly running nose, Lord's response time to requests for data is impressive, thanks mainly to the sly DEC hookup and the detailed decision algorithm files Pemulus had authored 3 years back. Otis P. Lord informs Salvor and Amnat that Peoria, Illinois' topographic flatness ups the effective kill radius for Salvor's 5 megaton direct hit to 10.1 clicks, meaning half of this mama pop burns to death in evacuatory traffic jams out on Interstate 74. An AMNAT Minuteman can hold an absolute maximum of 8 MIRVs, MIRVs, irregardless, and that is italicized, so I think he's doing that on purpose, irregardless of whether the Titanic jockstrap Little Lamont shoe promoted out of sedated Teddy Schatz gear bag on the bus Friday night can hold 13 dead tennis balls. Given standard climatic conditions, the fire area from an airburst will be 2 pi times larger than the blast area. Toronto has enough subcode skyscrapers within its total area to guarantee a firestorm off a minimum of 2 strikes within, and it's 2 pi over 1 over the total area of Toronto in meters squared. This little formula. That ends the page, though. 328. Good night.